Well, yeah, I hear that one.
I think we're live. Of course we are.
We're live. Hello, Internet. Welcome to a very special episode of the International Writers Fellowship because today, as usual, Daniel Hand, RPG therapist, Erica, RPG play therapist, Ember, Robots and Magic, and Julesy Cat of whichever university. I can never remember which university you're at, but the university in Australia. Sorry?
The good one.
The good one, yeah, because there's only one good one in Australia. But also, we have we've been long threatening to have in, and it turns out the reason she hasn't been seen is because I haven't been sending out links. We have Boonie, and I'm not even. How do you pronounce your surname, Boonie? Is it Sripom?
Sripom, yes.
Sripom. Okay. Who's here? We're going to talk about AI, being creative in the AI sphere. But yeah, obviously, Boonie, you've been watching us for a little while now. You and I know each other. You and Erica know each other. Do you want to tell us a little bit about you, or do you want to go straight into cards and then you can tell us a bit about you, or do you want Erica to tell the world about you?
I want to jump into a little bit about neurodivergent conversation. So I'm very rigid and list oriented. So when we have the miscommunication, I have an idea in my head of like, this is a script, and someone says, let's do something. I say, okay. The next step is someone says, okay. They reply then and say, okay, this is the thing. I'm planning to do this, and this is the time to do it. Or what are you want to do? Like what is the option for when you're available? So I think the miscommunication was very interesting to look back on time because I was very confused. It's like, you kept inviting me and I said yes. And then you kept inviting me. I said yes. So
for me, it's a case of I have massive anxiety about electronic means of communication. People contacting me via text, I'm like, I'll do it later, and then nothing gets done. So I do apologize. But yeah, so Boonie, the first time I came across you was when you were doing a course for Sophia. You did the was it the monomyth you did? The monomyth
I did, yes.
And this. But by then I was already at monomythcounselling.co.uk, so I was
did your practice.
You did, and I was very pleased. And you have done Erica's training, I believe. It's all getting a bit incestuous here. Everybody's done everybody else's.
We're family.
Not me.
Yeah. Yet. There's time.
Oh, you just wait and see.
But yeah, but obviously we know you for your coaching work, your mental health work, but this is a creative stream at Writing Plays. Tell us about that side of you, because you're very into your creative ways and means.
Well, my background is in art. I have a degree I went to a conceptual arts program, studio arts. So I was very confused when I went in. So this might be fun for some artists watching. There's different types of art programs. When I went into this art program, they didn't teach us how to make art. They taught us how to think about art. And so we were very confuzzled. We're like, wait a minute. I wanted to learn how to paint, how to draw, how to learn perspective. And they're like, you should have learned that before you got here. And they were like, and so we're just going to teach you how to think. I'm like, but I think all the time. I don't want to learn how to think. And so that's all we did. We just read a lot of stuff. We watched people make art, and then we criticized things in terms of like socio-political movements, in terms of how art speaks for different movements of people, and the meaning of the social justice component of inspiring people to do something in regard to consuming art, and like the ethics of being an artist and stealing and borrowing. And so I think it's very appropriate to talk about AI when we talk about like an artist does have the right to borrow and reference, but there's something different when it comes to not having a name and a face to the whole like stealing of a collective and then taking it. It's very different from that.
Which obviously AI is all about stealing from a whole and putting it out there as your own, isn't it? which we're going to talk about momentarily. But first, shall we do cards? Does something? I take it, Erica, you're not going to be doing the cards. Boonie, do you have any tarot or oracle?
I do. I can go grab some.
Yeah.
One sec. How do I? Be right back.
Also, I'm making a post on Instagram to get some people to join us if I can, which I should have done this morning, but
And how is everybody else doing?
awesome.
Oh, we lost Eric.
Oh no! I thought I saw her freeze.
I'm really good.
Good.
Yeah. I'm a bit cold. I'm just going to grab a blanket.
So, there we go.
What do I do?
Erica just pooped.
So now you just pull out a card and either read out its meaning or tell us its meaning, and then we all think about it in terms of our writing / creativity.
Okay, so I have this deck. I think you've seen it before. You have it too.
Oh yes, we've got that one as well.
Ready.
Yeah, I think someone else has it. Let me mix.
And yes, Charlene is in Time Magazine. Congratulations, Charlene.
What?
Because
Ooh,
Time Magazine has got an anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons edition. Excuse me, and they interviewed Charlene for using it in therapy. So
That's great.
but nobody can find a copy of it, including her. So if anybody
Really?
finds a copy of it,
I was just at the grocery store this morning and I saw Taylor Swift on Time Magazine, so yeah. Oh wait, no, she was on Rolling Stone. I take it back.
I don't know.
We'll have to get that framed and autographed. Okay. So the card that I'm picking is... It's a 6 of Swords.
Oh no.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, swords are always bad news for me. It's like it's never good.
Oh. Well, let's find out what it says.
Oh,
It's probably fine for everyone else. It's just not good for me.
Okay, 6 of Swords.
Swords is all about creativity and imagination, isn't it? So,
Well, it just says upright, solutions, change, security, and transition.
oh yeah, the book in that one isn't very good, is it?
Oh, we have some new chatters too. Welcome, new chatters. They're over.
Hi, Try Guy. Hey, cutie.
I take it you know Try Guy.
He's my cutie boyfriend.
Oh.
Everyone pause for Oz.
Oh.
Oh. We need
Okay.
a
Well,
soundboard.
so
Alright.
the 6 of Swords shows that you are in a state of transition, leaving behind what was familiar and moving towards the unknown.
Oh, that's
You might
okay.
be moving house, leaving a relationship, changing jobs, going through a rite of passage, or a mental shift. This change may be your own doing or forced upon you, and you may feel sad to leave behind what is so familiar to you. However, you know this move is essential for your growth and personal development. The sadness over what you have lost or released will soon be replaced by greater mental clarity and a renewed acceptance of change. You'll become a better person as a result.
Wow.
I love
This
those
one.
fucking swords.
Change is good.
I know.
And how are we interpreting that writing wise or creativity wise?
I had a good experience last night.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like, you know what, I'm going to sit down and do some writing. So I sat down at 7:30, and by 9:30 I had 2,000 words.
Nice.
Nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
Dan knows how long it's been since I've been able to do that. So yeah.
So what are you? So how are you doing? What's that got to do with the card? Is that a new beginning? A transition?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. New beginning. yeah, it's been a long time
Yeah.
since I could just sit down and say, I want to write, and I actually did it. So,
Did you hear the card, Erica?
Oh, she's muted.
I did not. My
Okay.
my case on my phone makes my phone really, really hot, and
Ah.
apparently it is hotter in Kansas than I gave it credit for.
Must resist urge to make Toto jokes. Must resist urge to make Toto jokes. Okay.
I make them all the time, and
Okay.
I tell you what, when I traveled to California for the first time, we got off the plane, and I turned to my husband. I was like, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
So make
Anyway.
all the Toto jokes you want. I have heard
Oh.
them, and have probably made them.
since I'm
So anyway, what
allowed.
was the card? I'm so sorry.
So,
Oh my God, Try Guy is saying he blesses the rains down in Africa, and now I'm just thinking about Manny Fuego.
Perfect. All connected. See? Big family.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us this week on the International Writers Fellowship. We hope you have a good week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
I really no. I wanted to say with regards to that card, you know, we mourned NaNoWriMo last year after the horrific. I think we have to say its name. I think we have to say its name.
We have to say its name, but it's interesting you bring it up, and it's interesting that we're talking about AI.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about New Beginnings, and
no, we are. But I'm just saying, because have you heard the news about New Beginnings and about Nano and AI?
well, yeah, that's why Boonie's here.
Oh, I don't know. Nobody's told me why Boonie mentioned it
we
in
had-
passing.
You're
All
on
right,
Discord. You're not in your Discord.
You're not looking at the Discord. So to those of you in the audience, Dan doesn't read the Discord messages. So that's
Or WhatsApp, or text messages, or emails, or
we're here to talk about technology, but you know that. Damn it, Erica.
Okay, bye.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, then.
So
Like,
further
I'm
to
sick of
my
this
point,
shit. I'm out of here. Go back to Kansas.
I don't blame her.
I actually finished Manny Fuego as a NaNoWriMo project, and I finished my first book as a NaNoWriMo project. And I used to be the biggest like cheerleader for NaNoWriMo. I used to, you know, be a donor and a supporter, and like, you know, I did it last year and it didn't, because I live under a rock, didn't catch wind of the FBI investigation until towards the end of, I'm going to start losing my voice, until towards the end of the contest. And, you know, we mourned it as a group last year. And, you know, this year, the AI thing, it's not even November, and NaNoWriMo was like canceled again. And as a supporter, as a person who like honed their craft using that contest, I'm trying to find a new way to write this year and to move forward as a writer. So I mean, it's interesting that that card came up because we were going to talk about NaNoWriMo today, and I'm trying to find my way forward again. And to, you know, and there's a lot of talk in the community about like, we're going to make our own thing and it's not going to be in fucking November, which is literally the worst month to be, for Americans at least, to be trying to do something like that. So that's my interpretation. Oh, Erica says she gives up. Her phone is struggling too much, so she'll join that way. Please be safe since you are. Maybe you're parked. You're sitting in the car. Okay, that's good.
Are you okay?
I'm going to be struggle busing for a while. I have a weak immune system and chronic illness. I have to work. I took an entire week off. This is just kind of my life right now. So.
do you have some water?
A strength to carry. I'm double fisting. I'm on
Liquid
cold medicine.
Is this club everybody's sick? Like we're all weak?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm also taking like, you know, happy brain medications. So I'm also just like cognitively dragged down. This is me not at 100% brain capacity.
Hey,
I'll tell you a little story later.
sorry. This is me at 100% brain capacity.
Okay, tell me the story, Jules.
I was sick last week as well, and I spent 2 days taking drugs and nothing happened. And I was like, I wonder if I can use some fasting to get better.
Sorry, 1 minute. I've just got to tell my teenager to shut up.
Really?
Carry on.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
This with brain capacity.
Oh.
I'm worried about fasting because I'm already so dizzy from the new brain medications. Like,
Yeah.
I went to the store today and I was like, like, I felt high, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Probably because I've figured out how to use that as a thing, but I was just like, I wonder if I can. And then it worked and it was kind of astonishing. So,
Yeah. I would like to learn how to fast safely, but it's like, oof.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
not,
certainly don't dive into it in the middle of being sick.
oof. No. I'm just on a very bland diet right now.
Yeah.
You know you're really sick when like a tuna sandwich on wheat is the most delicious thing you've had.
Okay. Dan, how about you in the card? You haven't told us yet.
Yeah, Dan, how do you interpret the card?
What was the card again?
6 of Swords.
Six of Swords. Oh, transition.
You read the
moving on.
freaking description, dude.
Yeah, we've established that I am at full mental capacity, which means if it happened more than 2 minutes ago, it might as well never have happened.
To be fair, you are at the end of your working day.
Yeah, fair play.
Why do you do this to yourself? Like,
I think he
It
likes
is-
pain.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is a question I ask myself frequently.
I mean, he welcomed me into his social circle, and I'm kind of a soft dom friend, so yeah.
No,
It hasn't changed in 20 years. Sorry, Dan.
I literally messaged him, Daniel Elizabeth Hand, why are you ignoring me earlier? Like, I don't.
And again, not hilariously, Elizabeth is my sister's middle name.
I mean, it's every other girl's middle name. That's why I said it.
Oh, is
It's
it?
either
Okay.
Elizabeth, Lynn, or Rose. Or Marie. Sorry, there's 4.
Whereas Marie is my mom's first name. So, so Erica, I think are submitting a train to our. Yes, Jesus.
Closing the circle.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Well, for me, it's not necessarily just the new beginnings as it's transitioning from the old or trying to transit, because I have been, it's been widely documented here that I've been really trying to get back into my fiction writing for months. Last week, I just thought I came up with an idea for an academic piece, and I just started writing that. So maybe I've just got to accept that maybe I'm just in a non-fiction part of my life. Because frankly, words on paper is better than not words on paper. So maybe that's my artistic transition. I was on I was being interviewed for a podcast on some points this past week, and they asked me what was next, and I just spouted out lots of non-fiction pieces. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, so this is what I'm doing. Okay, maybe just move on from trying to stab people and try and help.
We are tinkering with Freedom Slave, so that's probably going to be a while.
Yeah, eventually. Cool. Well, anybody in the chat, by all means, try a guide. Let us know how you're transitioning. I mean, if you're as cute as Boonie's making you sound, then
he's so cute. Like,
I just want to poke him. So
I have to mess with my fan. Up personal.
Charlene and I were talking about this as a concept that apparently is it aggressive cuteness or cute aggression or something like that, which is because every time I see a baby's feet, I just have this urge to eat them, and apparently that
it's a weird rage. It's a weird reaction, but I have it too. So cute. You want to break something? I can't blame you, dude.
I have an aunt that used to do that, and I would always just be like, "Please don't eat my baby." I don't.
They're hard to make.
I'm really trying to keep it alive. If you put it for brain,
they take a while.
So, Boonie, did you tell us your thoughts about the card? I can't remember.
Not yet. Thank you for
Oh,
asking.
there you go. Thanks, people, for actually
Thank
remembering,
you.
because my brain is just
So-
whatever. I don't give a fuck today.
I
This is my
thought,
brain on cold medicine.
so I love teaching. I got my degree to teach, but it's very competitive here. And so I do the trainings, I make my YouTube videos. That's my outlet just to keep that passion alive. And I thought maybe I needed some more. So an imposter syndrome, I know Erica posted about it. It kicks in and goes, I need more training to be able to teach teachers. And so, but I've been in education for like 20 years, and I enrolled in a free course on instructional design, and I looked over it like, this is just too fluffed up. It's about the history of instructional design, not actually the practice of instructional design. So I looked up the keywords, I took note of them. I can just make my own content. I realized, you know what? I know enough stuff. You has experience. Exactly, Squishy. That's the conclusion. My full circle is like, I'm sabotaging myself thinking I don't have enough experience to do this. It's like, no, I just need to keep learning. I need to keep learning. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I could just. So I want to make an additional website to consult with instructors and people who don't want to teach but don't know how to teach, because I'd rather do that instead of actually coaching. It's more in administration type leading and education stuff, which is what I always want to do. I just I don't know why I went this route.
My
New
camera
beginnings.
thing again. Stupid camera.
Okay, bye.
But
I'm
your
listening.
new beginnings and transitioning to a new phase in your life.
I mean, you saw my training, right? The monomyth stuff. I love it. I'm really passionate about just teaching, having people like put things together and make insight and then apply it to their own practice. You know, that's more fun for me. Like, you do the work. I don't want to do it. I want to show you how to do it.
I'm just gonna have a dramatic slow pan on my corner. Don't mind everybody.
No wrong with that, darling.
I think that's interesting because I have been to so many PDs where professional developments, where people don't seem to have any concept of how to actually teach, and they're making gobs of money.
Yeah.
Gobs of money.
Oh, money. No, money. What is the thing you call money?
Well, you know, they're I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking break this camera.
The camera's fine.
I'm afraid now. Like, you invited me to come on to talk about art, and then you're like breaking stuff.
I don't understand why it's like moving around.
The camera is.
I'm watching it slide off my monitor, Dan. It's like sliding off of my monitor.
I don't see anything moving.
It's sliding. I'm watching it physically slide off my monitor, like it's gonna fall off any second. There.
Well, while Amber has a breakdown, Boonie, tell us about why you're here and the AI side of things.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the subject now.
Let's fucking talk about the subject now. Camera, stop moving.
Boonie. You've seen though. There is nothing organized about this thing. Come on.
Yeah, you don't say.
You've been here before. What you were expecting us to be competent just because you're here?
I have my baby. Hold on. I have my baby too.
Oh, okay. We're doing that, are we?
Look, I got a little ragey. I needed something to hold on to, and Captain Evie is too far up. So everybody just grab a stuffy. It's story time.
Okay now. Everything's okay.
So, AI in the creative world. So fill us in on the NaNoWriMo business, somebody.
NaNoWriMo. Can I just say that I have never seen a nonprofit more intent on destroying itself.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say that? Also, welcome Turkey Car Guys. You're just in time for our NaNoWriMo discussion.
Nice.
Boonie, take it away.
Oh gosh. Trying to remember what we said in Discord because it's so fired up.
So fucking fired up.
I know.
Well, so the fundamental point is NaNoWriMo have come out saying that AI is perfectly acceptable in writing, and that if you say otherwise, you are being classist and
yes,
etc.
Yeah, right.
Which, for an organization designed to help people write, and specifically came into the world designed to make people sit down and put words on paper,
Mm-hmm.
seems off.
Like, what's the point, basically?
Yeah, I mean, I've never done nano. Is it 50,000
Yes.
words? I could copy and paste 50,000 words, and that would make me pass. So does that mean I win? Sorry, Kimpy keeps falling off. I've had Kimpy since I was born. He was in the incubator with me
Oh.
because I was born.
NICU, NICU baby.
Oh, Nikki baby.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. No, I was nearly dead. I was born nearly 2 months early.
Me too. How many weeks? How many weeks?
20 something, 24, 23,
28.
24.
28.
So you were.
I beat you.
No, I beat you. I came out sooner.
I'm a little bit bigger than you. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jules has met me. No, you're not. But yes, I mean, Kimpy, there are pictures of. I mean, he's bigger than I was at the time.
Like the palm of a hand, right? Like that
Yeah.
big.
Apparently, the doctor carried me around in his pocket once. I was born in a military hospital. That's the kind of thing doctors do.
Oh.
That's kind of gross, no? Let me
Let's
put the
see, yeah.
baby away.
Again, the military.
I have a twin brother, so we were both like the size of palms. So well, going back to the ableist thing, I think that's kind of insulting. Like,
Oh, 100 bazillion
you're saying,
percent.
okay, so hold on here. You're saying you're trying to fight for us, but you're actually just using the term because what is
See,
that?
I picked this up at San Diego Comic-Con.
What is...
If you do AI art, your mama's a hoe. I love it
Clip
so
it.
much.
Someone
I think
clip it.
I'm actually going to go ahead and dedicate the IWF Instagram to just reposting AI shit posts for the next month and a half.
Do it.
So,
Sorry, Boonie, by all means.
Yeah,
sorry,
going back to like the ableism thing, like, okay, so you're saying that disabled or whatever people who have some need for support can't do anything, so they got to steal. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you can't scaffold the support, give people opportunities to reach out and maybe have community or have skills, like learn in some way. No, we're incapable of learning now here. So we're just going to give them access to just steal people's stuff now. That's
and from
so
what I saw,
degrading.
they're partnering with an AI-based company. They're getting money from, and so it's a money thing. Just
it always is. I mean,
of course it is. And so I don't know what the future of NaNoWriMo looks like now. I don't know who's going to write with them, for them. Because
thousands of people, sadly.
I mean, people will, because I've seen the other argument. Like, I'm in a lot of groups I don't agree with the perspective, but people are like, well, what about my opportunity to write? Like, what if I'm just good at writing prompts and I have a good story, but I just need the extra help, like AI has really helped me make, the drawings for my artwork, the stories I actually have in my head, but I can't do it. And like, see, that's why we devalue artists and hiring and consulting and paying artists, because you just want to do it yourself, right? Like, you're just selfish. You're just selfish and you want to steal other people's work and then claim it as your own. Like, that's not art in the first place. There's like a rich wealth and range of people's creativity that you're tapping into. That's what we were talking about earlier, like the Renaissance and the art movements. People had these circles. What we do here, people grow because we're sharing perspective and insights and what we all have from different lived experiences. That's how art's supposed to work. But instead of that, we're kind of funneling it away and like, nope, you're by yourself, hiding away in your like whatever you're doing and you're writing away and you're like competitive. So like the mindset is so different. Art should be a collective thing, but what AI does is make everyone selfish and steal from each other. So like that's what it's doing too.
So there are a lot of people who are still going to do nano.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. I mean, don't forget, the vast majority of people who do nano won't be aware of the any of the scandals around the organization. It's just a website where they can hook up with other writers, and that for me, that's what it always was. I never actually took part in Nano itself. I just found it a wonderful place just to hang out with other writers. And it's a shame that I no longer feel I can access that place. But for a lot of people, aren't going to be that, principled, alas. And
Yeah, but are they going to write good stuff?
oh, come on. Nano was never about writing good stuff. Nano's about writing lots of stuff. Nano is all about quantity over quality.
I have heard that, like, there's a lot of people who started there, though, even if that's not what they published. That was kind of their kickstart to get moving. And I guess the thing that'll be a loss for a lot of us who don't have that anymore is that sense of community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we create our own? But, like, the scale of that is hard to just replicate overnight.
No, I get
it's
it.
not going to happen in a hurry. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like the book talk community really lashed out against NaNoWriMo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty active over there, and the response was like, fuck you, NaNoWriMo. And I mean, book talk is powerful. So to see that community just like snap back and say no and say we're going to make our own thing was pretty empowering. So I can stay tapped in over there and keep tabs on. I also write some good quality shit.
I didn't say you can't write quality stuff. I'm just saying that isn't their raison d'etre. They want you to write 50,000 words, and as they are demonstrating through this particular episode, they don't give a shit how good those words are. They just want you to write the words, or have a computer write the words.
Write the words.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have a theory that part of this allowing of generative AI is to bring on and replace a lot of the people that they lost during last year's scandal as well.
Well, because the thing is, I've had a change in mindset recently, because years ago, I don't know if anybody saw the was it Sci-Fi Channel's Earthsea series, where they took The Wizard of Earthsea and a couple and Tombs of Atuan and a few amazing books, some of the best fantasy ever made, and just made one of the trashiest television experiences ever. And this was back when computer graphics and all that were really bad. And it's like, and I read a review saying they can forgive the bad acting, they can forgive the bad CGI, but they can't forgive bad writing. And I'm like, yeah, I was like that for a long time. But whenever you get these multiple million, dollar films, movies, you've got MCU, you've now got the fucking Rings of Power, and the people who are paid by far the least are the writers.
Yeah.
So actually, if any of the production has an excuse of being crap, it's the writing. And yet it's the writing that people come to see at the end of the day.
Exactly. It's the foundation of a story.
Yeah. And yet, as I say, that I can't remember exactly what the figure was, but I for something like it wasn't the Avengers, but it was a movie of that magnitude. And I heard the figure that the screenwriters received, and I don't think it was as much as I'm earning as a therapist for a movie of that scale. All these hundreds of millions of dollars, and the screenwriter is receiving 20,000.
That's insane.
So do you think that there's going to be, for lack of a better term, a renaissance of writing, that we will at some point realize that we can't cheap out on this, that we can't chat GPT our words and our blogs and our everything? She asked, hopefully.
Nope. I don't think so. I think cheap.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Cheap is going to win out on quality.
Here's the thing, though. I have come across a number of academic articles that have researched what happens to these models when they get fed with their own output and they degrade and die, basically. They cannot survive. They cannot survive without actual human input, which means these companies are using them to kill the thing that's actually going to make their product worthwhile.
So it's like a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yes.
Aha.
Yes. So we have a way to win. It's just I'm interested about the generational differences too, because I think Gen Z and A, they kind of don't care because like they have no future. Sorry, guys.
I think of it very much in terms of like, you know, the Industrial Revolution, how before then, if you wanted products made, you made them by hand. You hired people to do the work and the product was there. Then it just got automated. You know, it feels very applicable to this scenario as well. But then
now,
again, I'm the pessimist of this group.
People do want quality. I mean, look at Patagonia.
I love Patagonia.
There is a return. Patagonia is an outdoor like sportswear sort of company. They make camping gear and things like that, and they stand by their stuff. And you can bring like a completely disintegrated Patagonia jacket back to the store, and they'll replace it like famously. That's the thing. And there is, I mean, I think millennials are sort of famous for returning to like, I want to buy a quality this thing, and I don't want to be buying a shit thing from Temu or Temu, however the fuck you say it, and have it fall apart in a year. I mean, that's been my philosophy lately, is I would rather buy a quality thing for 3 times as much and not have to replace it than buy a shit thing and have to replace it in a year and a half, and then buy another shit thing and have to replace it in a year and a half. So there is a return to quality in some people's mindsets. It's not everybody. So there's a push-pull there. I have to be rainbows and unicorns here because I am so prone to depression. And writing is my chosen profession. I'm also in my like day job being pulled into grant writing lately, and you can't AI that. You can't chat GPT a grant application. You actually do have to be able to speak reasonably to the application, to the ask, to the hard work, to the qualitative and the quantitative. And it's interesting because I left nonprofit just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. But there's need for it, and there's money out there to be had. So I'm really glad for the opportunity. But God, if I had a nickel for every person who was like, I need a blog, but I think I'm just gonna like chat GPT it.
It was on was it Legal Eagle a few months ago? A lawyer in the States just chat GPT'd a brief, or whatever you call it, you know, the paperwork that you hand in, and it cited case law that didn't exist.
Oh no.
And this guy didn't even bother to check it. He just chat GPT'd it and handed it into the judge.
Yikes.
And I'm like, that is the level of stupid that worries me. Because, you know, if let's say that Nano has their ableist argument has a point. I don't think that, but let's just, for the purpose of argument, say that they have a point on that. So people who struggle could use AI to support their writing and get started. But that's not what people do. They don't use AI to help them with their writing. They're using AI to do their writing.
Exactly. There's a difference, and there's no way to oversee any of this. None of that. Yeah. Well, the big part that bothers me, so I come from fashion, right? I come from the fashion industry. I worry about, so you talk about clothing and consuming. I worry about like the environmental impact of all this stuff. Like we're just buying cheap, fast fashion all the time. All these like materials go into our water and our fish eat it. All the animals consume it. We're all slowly becoming Barbie. Like that's the joke, right? We're all consuming microplastics, and that comes from fashion. Polyester is plastic, dude. Like we're all seeping into our skin. You don't even know that anyway. So I get heated about this stuff. And like AI, heats the planet too. It's about it participates in global warming. I think about like the rise in temperature, all these like farms for computers that just like all these towns are just like vibrating for no reason because of have you seen those farms for what's it called? Doggo Bitcoin, all these like money things like
NFTs.
Yeah, and so people is just like getting sick for no reason. It's these vibrations in our body getting us sick, people getting sick for no reason. It's us consuming and being greedy. You know, like if you use AI to generate stuff, it uses a lot of water to compensate for the heat being generated. So we're using all this water too that a lot of people don't have, and that's a really important resource. And so I think about that as well.
Try Guy, I like Try Guy's a keeper.
I can't wait for my house to be beachfront property. I'm in the mountains right now. Erica had a good we've been listening to As You Wish by Carrie Elwes, and one thing he talks about over and over and over is the screenplay, which was written by the actual author of the book. It's an amazing story, and to hear the praise of the author is so encouraging. He also talked about the importance of the play, which I was super excited about. I love that movie, by the way. I watched it when I was down with the sickness. And
the movie is great.
It's
shit.
I'm not a movie person.
Oh, that's okay.
I sit in a locked room by myself with the lights off and just like stare.
Nice.
Yeah,
yeah
you know.
I'm like,
no, I'm like, I get it. My favorite part of the day is about 3 a.m. when I finally turn the lights off, and if it's pissing it down with rain outside, even better. I just stare into the dark.
Speaking of audiobooks, I just finished The Meaning of Mariah Carey, and I'm sad now because I don't have Mariah Carey to just kind of talk me through my day.
Well, just
she's amazing.
Put the Christmas songs on.
I hate Christmas music with a burning passion.
High five.
Well, yeah, I would agree, but then I discovered the Kinks' Father Christmas, which is all about a bloke who's dressed up as Santa Claus to raise money, and then he gets assaulted by a gang of kids. It's hilarious.
That sounds fun. I make an exception for Oi to the World by No Doubt. That's a fun one.
Has anyone listened to an Australian version of Jingle Bells?
No.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
just look on YouTube. You'll find it. Yeah.
I love that even Mariah Carey says that like you cannot listen to her Christmas music before Halloween's over. She's like, no. But yeah, I just have that like end of a book bereft feeling. You know, it's like this was my thing that I had that I listened to or read at times of in between, and now I don't have that. And now what?
But there is also a big profession in ghostwriting, and I imagine I don't know how eloquent Mariah Carey is and how good a writer she is. But did she write that book, or did she get a ghostwriter to write that book?
She actually has a credited co-author, which I think is amazing because most people obviously have ghostwriters that they don't credit. And people like there's a hush hush, but she just has a postscript where she thanks Michaela Angela Davis for being her co-author. And Mariah Carey obviously writes her own music and is a very gifted lyricist, but I think had her co-author and was and she reads her own audiobook and sings and talks about, oh my God, it was a revelation, and it carried me through the Rona and the post-Rona period of last week where I was like trying to work and so.
But it just to keep us on topic, it feels like people, celebrities who aren't as discerning as Mariah will just go, well, I don't need a ghostwriter. Chat GPT, hi.
Yeah, nobody's going to want to read that. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be interesting. Like,
I guess the dilemma is there's not really an ethical element at the moment where people are like, if I use this thing, I must disclose that I use it.
There's that as well.
Yeah, it makes me think of like the perception of being an artist. Nobody actually wants to do the hard work. They want the product at the end, right? They want the fame, they want the recognition, but you don't actually embody an artist persona. Like, that's the thing that bothers me. Like, you don't have to be everything, but you want something. So you got to really do that personal work of exploring. So we're doing archetype stuff, right? Like, what is it about an artist and the fame or whatever, the recognition of the artistry that you're actually looking for? Because if you're stealing, you're not being an artist. You actually just want attention then, right? Or you want a way to express yourself, but you can't express yourself. So you can go to, you know what happened? What was public speaking. What's that one big one across the world?
Toastmasters, TEDx.
Toastmasters just had a big, like, what is it, 100-year anniversary thing. You know, like, they've been around for a long time. People love public speaking. That's an art form. It's a way of expressing yourself. But it's, again, you have to do the work. No one can speak for you. But like this thing with writing and stealing art and making art to express yourself and then claiming that as your own, we've come so far away from just being able to express ourselves that the people just want fast. And I think that's like the thing that makes me very sad. Like, oh, so you do want to express yourself. You don't have any skills in technical art, but you want to. And you just, you crave that way of self-expression and to be seen and heard in some way, that this is what you think would be the answer, but it's not. You're still going to feel empty because you robbed yourself of the opportunity to grow.
No? Well, Dan brought up a couple months ago the Mickelson twins, who were selling of you hire some poor slob to write you a book, and then you hire some other poor slob to record you an audiobook, and then you sell the audiobook. There's a YouTube video on our Discord that is just heartbreaking. I am actually still getting fed ads for that crap. For audiobooks are the new way to get rich quick. But you're not actually writing your own shit. You're hiring people to do it at like 20 cents a word. It's just ridiculous. And I'm going to take it back to Mariah Carey, because she actually was hungry to write her songs and sing her songs. And I found out recently that apparently Jennifer Lopez has a bunch of like other people singing her songs.
Yeah.
So she has like Ashanti on her songs.
She steals people's songs.
She steals people's songs. So, and I think back to, again, when I was a kid and I used to like draw in class, and people would be like, man, I wish I could draw. And I just told them, like, just draw. You gotta draw a lot. And they would be like, no. And I would just be like, well, then fucking you don't care. You don't want to be an artist. And
but that's the thing. The people who are using AI to do the creative work, why do they want to do the creative work? Because I think we're all here because we enjoy the creative side of it. And yeah, I get the money, but that's not.
Writing is not a lucrative business.
That's not being creative. So they're looking at the end product. I want this thing to be written. But if you're getting into writing, you're getting into writing because you love writing. Or if you're getting into painting, you're doing it because you love painting. You know, you're getting into creativity for the love of the process. And yet these are people who just aren't interested in the process. They just want the end result. Quality.
I was just going to say, I've asked myself a number of times, what would this look like if there wasn't the underlying capitalist motive? Let's say capitalism did not exist. I mean, most people can't imagine what that would look like.
I can, because I think
we would be having very different kinds of conversations about art and work and this technology if that wasn't there. Very different.
Yeah, but would we have it if not capitalism?
Yeah, I think art is a natural part of being human.
Yeah, like if people wanted to use the AI for personal work and never showed it because it's so deeply like something to help you express something, or, you know, pull apart this feeling, this intangibleness of something about you, I'm all for it. But if you claim it like it's all my own, I did it without any help, and then you start making money, the connection with the capitalism stuff, then we have a problem. It's like some people do need tools to help get something out. Like, I have no clue what to do. You know, that's why we have internet for the first place. Like, so that's the thing for me. Like, You want to learn how to do something, why don't you just look it up? You can look it up. Why are you copying? Why are you stealing?
And there are AI tools that help people. I'm not saying universally like all AI is bad, because obviously but we're saying like generative AI, like using it to, in Adlerian terms, look at the crucial C's of courage and capable, there's always an underneath.
Yeah. You know, again, what's the point otherwise?
I can share a couple of interesting things that have happened. So one of the areas I teach is academic writing. And this is in a subject where we're trying to help the students figure out how to be a university student or a college student. And so we realized pretty soon we have to actually say, no, you're not authorized to use generative AI in our subject.
Yeah.
But we have to go beyond just saying no. We had to put in, what kind of feedback are we going to give you that would help you? Why do we ask you not to use it? And what are the supports that are available? But we've still got because the students who come through our program a lot of them have zero confidence in their own ability because they were let down by the school system.
Yep.
So for us, it's not just we want them to get a finished product done. We're trying to teach them about the process of writing and how powerful it can be to learn new things or to develop your own ideas and actually think through ideas. And I had a really interesting experience last semester.
Yeah, so you're supporting their courage and capability.
Exactly. We had students who it appeared that they were using the technology, but the detection side of things is a bit shaky. So having those conversations was challenging. And I had a situation where I got to the end of semester and I had to have a conversation with a student. And this 30-minute conversation turned into an hour and 15 minutes where I talked to him about how much writing can help you think and how it's going to help you to do what you want to do when you finish study. And at the end, the conversation was, I can't believe I've never had a teacher talk to me this way. I can see you're really passionate. It kind of sucks that we had this conversation because I realized I haven't done it the right way. But thank you. And I was like, and yet they're the conversations that we don't have space to have a lot of the time. Like this was the end of semester after everything was almost finished and we're having this conversation. But it was so powerful. And regardless of what happens with that student in the future, I could tell this person heard. And I was like, oh, but we're not having enough of those conversations in education, at least, because there's not space for them. You don't have time to do that. That's not part of your workload.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You helped rebuild someone. That's part of it. Like I'm thinking about now, if younger people are so entrenched in technology culture, that's their language, that's their everyday, they don't second guess the implications of using it. It's like, oh, a fun tool, a fun game now. Like if everyone's using it, I'm going to use it too because of what they've had. So now we're doing the contextual part of background and education and just life experience. Yes. So I used to do college counseling and I would tell my students too, it's okay to ask for help. I don't want you to wait until the end of the semester where you're failing everything and then you want to talk to me and then you're going to leave and you're going to quit. Why don't you just come to me in the beginning? But it's so scary. They think they have to carry the world on their shoulders. You know, it's like, but we're here to help. But they don't know what the tools are. They don't understand. There's like, again, the young brain is so panicky. They don't know what to do. And so like, it's great that you're here as a resource, but it's that connection that we can't always do. And I wish we could explain the reason for why these supports are available and why a discipline would help you grow as a person. The long-term plan of being a writer, the long-term plan of critical thinking. We don't have time for that. And it's sad to think about it like that, you know?
Yeah. And yet it's helped me realize that learning is about growing and doing hard things. And when we don't even talk about that concept, it's just like, oh, I just need that piece of paper so I can do the thing I want to do. Not, I actually have to work hard to grow, because growing things require pruning and effort in order to make them actually work. So we actually shifted our conversation with the students about AI from the end of semester, because we were trying to kind of herd them away from even thinking about it, to let's talk about it in week 2. So that they actually know, what does this technology do? What are the minute they realize the environmental implications, I saw a few of the students in the room be like, oh, what? Because they care about that. They just don't realize that technology is actually highly problematic in that way either. So, so I mean, it's going to be an ongoing thing for us, but I care enough about I care enough about their writing and them learning to use writing in a good way that we can't not have those conversations. Really. Yeah.
I wish we could talk about this all day long, but I have to boot, scoot, and boogie.
Boot, scoot, and boogie, not just boot and scoot.
Not just boot and scoot. Okay. Thank you. I have to go meet my AC repair person, and I had to leave a little bit early. But thank you, Boonie, for joining us today and having such a genuine conversation, and Jules for sharing your experience with your students and everybody. And yes, broken done. Broken done. That's what I am. I'm broke and I'm done. I'll be here all week, everybody. All right, I gotta leave early, but I hope you guys have a good rest of the stream. Thank you. I will. Where is the exit button, Diana? Where is it?
Bottom, so leave studio.
I was in full screen, that's why. All right, bye everybody.
I mean, it's top of the hour, so we can call things. We can draw things to a close if you like. I mean, does anybody have any more particular thoughts on the topic of, because the question I have is, why would Nano put this out there? I mean, okay, it's one thing for them to partner with an AI company. If somebody's got to pay, I don't agree with it, but but you could partner with somebody without being a dick about it. And I just can't, I can't quite get my head around of all the things to say, why would you say that? Why would you attack the very people you purport to be there for?
The first hint that I saw of this was actually Daniel Green on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Did a commentary, and he one of the things he mentioned, I was like, yeah, that probably seems like a plausible motive, is trying to head off criticism, but they actually went too far. Yeah. So it was, being defensive and dismissive before people had actually even responded to anything, in a way.
What about yourself, Bernie? You have any more thoughts? Because obviously, you brought this topic. You're very passionate about it.
Well, I think it was a good distraction, like a good offense first as a good defense, right? So if you give people the talking points, they'll focus on that too first, instead of what's actually happening underneath and literally the stealing and disempowering writers and potential writers. It's like, so you don't believe in your community, basically. You're creating a dystopic. Like, it's so weird because, like, okay, in the writing community, dystopia is like a genre. What are you doing? You don't know what this is going to happen. What's happening with technology? Anyway, so it's creating the atmosphere for it to happen. AI is taking over. So, like, when you do that, I don't know. It's like people who they hire to do the branding for something, but they don't have any investment in the name of the brand or the cause itself. It's so weird. But I do want to go back to like a couple of things about like the artist identity and people wanting to be artistic. I think there's this like allure, right? It's sparkly, it's shiny, it's pretty. There's this essence that, if you pair it with fame for the artists who break out and make something out of their works, it's appealing. You want that. So I just want people to, like, even if you don't write and you're considering using AI, because I've had people, I admire them, but they use AI and they're like defending themselves all over the place. Like, you know, I get it. You want to be skilled at this craft, but you're not. That's the reality of it. You know, like, I'm sorry, you want to be, but you're literally stealing from a pool of your fellow artists and writers who've put in the time and work to craft this thing. Find your own way to pave a way. Like, just be your own artist. Find your own way to do this. And that's the work that will build you. Like, it builds grit, it builds character. Like, you don't want character? You don't want to be known for like someone who steals? I don't know. That's
but that's the thing. It would be understandable almost if it was just completely impossible. If you wanted to be a novelist and you were just completely unable to do it, you know, but that's not the case. You know, anybody can learn to be one if they're gonna put that time and effort in. And
like, the satisfaction is going to be gone, isn't it? Like, you're going to pump out more works to fill the same thing compared to just one really good work because you really dedicated yourself to it.
I mean, compare the amount of work that Tolkien put into Lord of the Rings with the amount of work somebody, you know, the person we're talking about puts into AI. You know, an entire lifetime of world building, storytelling, and love versus write me a story about X.
Yeah, it makes me think of like when we share, when we lecture, when we do our workshops. Like, I put my heart into everything, and when it's finally done, it's mine. Like, no one can take that from me because I put so much into it. That's a wonderful feeling. I want other people to feel that way too. It's like the intention and the pairing of your identity with it. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, it feels different. It feels different when it's yours.
One of the, and I might post this in the Discord, I came across a really interesting video a couple of months ago on YouTube about AI and music. And in the video, so obviously a really incredibly talented musician was talking about what's lost in that artistic field with AI art. And he actually talked about different types of cognition. And one of them he mentioned was like embodied thinking, that when we outsource that type of creativity, you actually lose what does it feel like inside my body to create that thing. And there's other elements too, but I was like, oh, I've never actually heard someone talk about thinking in those terms. We'll definitely add the video up there because that was kind of the switching my thinking about what's lost into thinking about learning in from a slightly different perspective. Really powerful, because I'm musical as well, and I know what that feels like to like sit at my instrument and just let my body do what it knows about the music. And the thought of losing that just kind of horrifies me.
And that's a link to the Discord for people watching if you'd like to come along and join us or join everybody else. I won't be there, obviously.
Obviously.
I use Discord as a walkie-talkie whilst I'm playing RPGs. That is all it. I confess I'm not really sure about what else it's used for. It pings at me every now and again, and I go, "Yeah, leave me alone. Scary."
I do want to comment and bounce off what you said, Jules. So like, that's the thing too. I think us as educators, I love that you're an educator. You're like high five educator. Like, you get it. You're an artist and an educator. So I just want to hype us up because people overlook us. We are the master teachers because we're cross-contextual thinkers. We're seeing everything, right? And then we can share it in a way that's like personal. That's what is missing in education, right? And something about the people who are kind of desperate and feeling of, I need this. Don't take this tool away from me. So I kind of want to wrap up with this, where my final note is, I get it. I know what it feels like to feel hopeless and lost and wanting to connect. Is that a cat? Oh my God, kitty. So like, when you have a need and want and desire to create, but you can't, that's your hero's journey. That's where you start. This is where you start. There's no cheating here. You can't take a shortcut. Your journey starts way here, And it is going to be the most satisfying journey when you do it on your own and find the tools and the mentors. Like it's not only a lonely road. You have help. There's people out there that will support you, encourage you, teach you. That's part of growing. Teaching is part of growing, but we forget that. Like you feel like you have to do it and master it on your own. You do not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, people remember Kung Fu, the old television series with David? I can never remember his surname, but remember that old television series Kung Fu? Anybody else remember that, or just me? Just me. Anyway, it was about like it was basically a western, but a guy who could do kung fu just walked into a place, beat people up, and walked out again.
Maybe we didn't get it in Australia.
There was one episode because it was all wise and mystical and all that, and it had a great quote that I heard this when I was a child. Thank you, Amber. Thanks. Cheers. Thanks.
Yeah.
One episode where he became a teacher. He just kind of rocked up. The school needed a teacher, so he just sat down, and somebody said, "Why are you doing this?" And he said, the day a person stops teaching is the day a person stops learning. And that's stuck with me, again, from childhood.
It's breakfast time. That's why they're bugging me.
Aw, meow meow.
Yeah, you're hungry. I know.
So let's call it a day there then, so cats can go and get breakfast and Dan can go to bed. Boonie, thank you so much for coming along. Would you like to come again, please?
I do. So the next step is you respond and you tell me.
Yes, please.
Yes, dear. Tell us where we can find you, Boonie.
So I have a YouTube, Organized Messes, and my website's organizedmesses.com, and my Twitch is Kuroneko Kick.
And I have been on your channel, I believe. So if you want to come and see Boonie and I geeking out together, go over and check Organized Messes, because I don't know how you do it. You just sit there, Boonie, and you just create without any script or anything like that. I do not understand how you manage it. You are amazing. So if you want to go and watch somebody just own YouTube, go and watch Boonie's channel, because it's just
thanks.
Awesome. Jules, how about yourself?
Just here at the moment.
Okay, well, you can pick up a copy of Jules's anthology Eclectica somewhere, wherever.
This one.
Yeah,
there's a link in the Discord.
There's a link that you can go to our Discord and find it. And you can find me on YouTube at the RPG Therapist, at monmouthcounselling.co.uk, and here at the International Writers Fellowship every week. I hope we put the world to rights, but I think the long and the short of our chat today is, if you use AI for your creativity, your mama's a hoe.
Wow.
Hey, I didn't say it. The sticker said it.
Mic drop.
Sticker said it. Thanks a lot, guys. Join us next week, and we will hopefully live in a world where there's less AI. Take care.